So first off, trigger warning. If anyone's going through anything or having suicidal thoughts, this is not the video for you. I'll catch you next time. Go ahead and just take the time and get better. Take some self-care days, and I'll just see you next time. This video is a little long one, but it's worth to stay. I promise you. Honey, I would just say, what? So, yeah.
Me a ghost story that sounds completely unbelievable, but is entirely true.
Heads up, this is going to be a long one, and by the end of it, you'll know why. So this happened about 10 years ago now. I was 29 years old. I had just moved out of my family's house into my first, I guess, apartment, but it was a room. It was in Philadelphia. I think it was Pine Street. It's a really nice area. I don't know what it looks like now, but it was really nice. It was a young white couple that had a toddler, and the wife was pregnant. I had rented a room on their third floor. So it was my room, and then there was a bathroom and a kitchen that was shared with another room on the opposite side of the hallway. So everything was really good for like 2 months. I could walk to work. I loved the neighborhood. My roommate was fine. The landlord and his wife was fine. So it was good. But one night, I was awakened in the middle of the night by the sound of footsteps walking around the room. I didn't think much of it because what could it be? I lived alone. I was in a room alone. So I went back to sleep, woke up, and went about my daily life. So a couple of days later, it was the evening, and I was watching TV, and I started to hear like the TV creaking. Like, you know how like the TV makes a creaking sound when someone touches it? That's what it sounded like. And it constantly did that. Like, but it was really weird because I had this TV for a long time. It had never made that sound before, unless someone physically touched it. But I didn't think much of it. You know, it was old TV, so maybe it's time for a new one. Whatever. So there was another time, I had got off work early, and I was studying for my pharmacy technician exam at the time. So I'm in the room, I'm studying, and then I started getting tired. It might have been like the evening, early evening. So I go to take a nap, and as I'm laying down and trying to go to sleep, I feel something touch my face. So I get up and I'm looking around, like, what was that? So I still try to brush it off because it was like, this can't be what I think these events are. It just can't be. Like, it makes no sense. I'm not doing anything. I'm not provoking anybody. I know this is an old house, but the landlord and the landlady, they they own the house. They usually host college students. I was a young professional at the time. I would hope they would have said something if there was something. So I'm trying to look at this situation logically, and I'm just continuing to ignore events. Until one night, I wake up, and it feels like something touched me. Like, I was already about to wake up, and then I felt something touch me. So I'm sitting up in the room, and I'm terrified. It's the middle of the night, and I'm just like, please go away. Nothing happens. No one says anything, but I just go back to sleep. I wake up. I go about my daily life again. So the next night, I'm awakened in the middle of the night by the sound of the floorboards creaking again. And now I'm feeling emotions just randomly wash over me, like fear and sadness. Like, they come and go, but I know these aren't my feelings. And I'm just like, what do I do? Like, what is happening? Why is this happening to me? So I'm like starting to get really worried and stressed out because I'm having trouble sleeping because of these events. And so I believe it was the next night. It's just like the activity just became more and more active. Like, I feel something touching my face. I feel like the bed being pushed on, or I'm being pushed myself. Like, it's like trying to drain me. It's not letting me sleep. And then like I would turn my head and I would see like orbs, like at the corner of my eye. I would see like something white, and then I turn my head and it'd be nothing there. So I'm like really stressed out, and I'm like, okay. One evening I'm just sitting in the kitchen, and I'm like, hey, I gotta do something. I gotta say something to somebody about what's going on. So I decide to make a recording. I I like videos, and like they have like all kinds of sensors and stuff, so sometimes they can pick up subtle sounds that we can't hear with our ears. That's my logic. So I go into the room and I make a video. I don't expect to catch anything that can be seen, but I'm just walking around the room with it on record. I don't want to say anything because it's already bothering me. I don't know how much worse this could get. So I walk around the room for about like 3 or 4 minutes. At the time, it doesn't seem like anybody else is in the house. I don't hear anything. Usually when someone's in the house, you can hear them. So I'm walking around the room, and then I go back to the kitchen after that, and I look at the video I just made, and what I captured disturbed me even more. So I play the recording, and I just hear, as I'm walking around the room in the video, just like, hey, 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 and I just cut it off, and I just sit there. I'm like, I can't deny this. This is really happening. But I have to tell someone, so I'm like, okay, I have this video, I'm going to tell the landlord and the landlady, like, this is happening. They're probably going to think I'm crazy, but, like, what do I do? I can't keep living like this. So I contact them, and they were like, hey, yeah, we can have a meeting, and talk about what's been bothering you. I didn't tell them at the time, when I asked them I needed to talk, that this was what I was telling them about. So, I think like a day or two later, we meet on the first floor, and we're sitting on the couch, and I tell them, like, hey, I think this room is haunted. And they look at each other, and it was like, we've never heard anything like that before. We've been here for about 5 or 6 years, or whatever time frame they said. And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, but I've been experiencing a lot of activity, and I told them what has been going on. And I'm like, hey, yeah, this is a video that I made. And so I showed them the video of that sound, of whatever was making that hey sound. And the man, the landlord, he just like laughs it off, like, oh yeah, that could have just been me. I'm like, that was not you. Like, I know what you sound like. I didn't say that to him at the time, but it was like, that wasn't you. I was in the house by myself at the time. And he like brushed it off. It's like, yeah, maybe you're just stressed or whatever. I don't think it's anything paranormal. So the wife finally says, like, hey, my father's a pastor. He lives in another state, so maybe he can like virtually bless the room to give you some sort of peace. And I'm like, okay. At this point, I don't know what to do, so yes, I will take that offer. This video is getting really long. I don't know if it gets enough views. I'll probably finish the story if people want to know, but it definitely gets a lot crazier. Okay, so I didn't sleep well last night. I couldn't get this off my mind. Maybe it was meant for me to tell my story at this time. And I'm wearing the same shirt because I slept in it, so judge me how you will. The landlady contacts me a day later to set up a time with her father. She knows my schedule, so we agree on a date that's like a week later. In the meantime, she's like, hey, you want to sleep in my daughter's room just to see if you have any activity. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm not opposed to any place where I can sleep, because at this point after that recording, I don't sleep there. I can't. So I'm paying $700 a month for a place where I can't even sleep. It was incredibly stressful. They take the baby into their room and provide me a blow-up bed for that night, and I sleep there, and everything's fine. I guess all the activity is centered in that room I'm in. Lucky me. So I'm feeling hopeful at this point. I tell my mom and my aunt, they are who raised me, what was going on. And my mom said, hey, maybe I can go with you and you can like sleep there while I'm awake. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I never thought about bringing someone else in this situation. Like, who would want to be in willingly in a haunted place that's in their right mind? So, my mom's a sweetheart. She's high function mentally challenged. So, she goes with me there and she's like watching TV while I'm sleeping and nothing happens. Like, I got very restful sleep at that point. But I was like in the evening and she still had to go home and I didn't want to, have her walk home by herself. It was like over a mile. I wouldn't do that to her. I also tell my friend what's going on, and he's helping me out as well. Like sometimes I can stay at his place, which is all well and good. I need as much help in the situation as possible. So the day comes where we have the meeting with her father. She comes in the room with a laptop. This is during the day. We chat for a bit. He blessed me, and I think she had like a cross or something or a crystal. I can't really remember. And she's like walking around the room with a laptop while he's saying a prayer. And we chat for a little bit, and then they leave. And I'm feeling hopeful. I'm like, this has to work. Like, what else could I do? So that very same night, I go to sleep, and then I am awakened by like someone breathing in my ear, and the room is completely cold. Like it's freezing. It's summer. It's never cold in this room before. But and the room feels like, I don't know how to describe this. Like, I don't feel alone. But I don't not only feel alone, the room feels crowded. I am so terrified that I cannot move. I swear I hear like little whispers. And, the pause between conversations, like I kind of hear that or feel that, or I don't know, but I was terrified. I didn't even move. Like, I just grabbed one of my pillows and moved to the side like this and just stayed like that all night. I was so scared to move. I somehow make it through the night because I wake up even though I don't even remember going to sleep. And I said, I can't sleep here. I can never sleep here again. So I'm like at my wit's end. I have no idea what I'm gonna do. I paid all this money to get my first apartment or room or whatever, and this craziness happens. So it's like all my money's in there. Like I had to pay a deposit, of course, and there's a lease. I think for like 6 months or a year or whatever. I forget exactly, but it was longer than I had been there. And I'm like sleeping around at other people's places, like meeting up with girls, hooking up with them, just so I can sleep at their house. I don't even like them. I can't be where I live. But I'm a fighter, so I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna let them win. So I look on like YouTube or whatever, like for information about this. Like, and I think one YouTuber suggested like using sage to like get rid of bad energy or something like that. So like I find like the kit on Amazon. It was like the sage and like I don't know if it was like crystals or salt. Like it came with like a couple of things. And I looked at a YouTube video and it showed me what I should do. Like I was supposed to like burn the sage and like walk around the room, saging the place with the windows open and the door open. So I guess the spirit would have like a place to escape to. And I would just like tell it to leave or something. And then I would like put like salt or crystals or whatever I did at the corners of like the four corners of the room. And I was supposed to like put salt at the doorway as well. So that was the process. It took like maybe a few days, maybe a week. I don't know how long it took for the kit to come. So I got the kit. I'm happy but also scared. Like this is the last straw. This has to work. So I go about doing what the kit tells me. I burn the sage, and I'm walking around the room. This is broad daylight, of course. And I'm saying, like, you can go, you can rest, like, you can leave. And I hear, like, a loud bang on the door in front of me where I'm, like, putting the sage where I'm walking in the direction of. But I don't let that scare me. Like, I was scared, but I didn't let that stop me. So, like, I'm just continually doing it. And then I get to the door, and, the room feels lighter. Like, it felt like whatever was there was gone. And I'm like, yeah, I was, like, kind of happy. Like, everything felt lighter. It was a great feeling. I felt like I had rid the room of whatever. I don't like saying the G word. So that happened. When I tell you that was the worst mistake I have made in my life, I tried to uproot these spirits, these entities that had been there for over 100 years. I don't know. That night has given me PTSD. When I tell you, that night when I was in my recliner watching TV, I felt something walk into the room. And my fight or flight sense just went crazy. Like it went crazy. Like nothing was there. I could see nothing that was there. But my sixth sense, my everything, my entire being was telling me to get out of there. I was in danger. So I walked out of the room and I called my friend and I told him like, hey, I can't be here anymore. Can I just please stay at your place until I can find another place to stay? And he agreed. And he's like, yeah, just bring your stuff. I'll tell my girlfriend, what's going on, and you can just come here. I felt relieved, but I still felt danger. I had to get my stuff out of that room. So I mustered everything in me to go back in that room and just grab what I could out of the drawers and leave. But before I left, I felt something touch me, push me, and I immediately just bolted out there and went to my friend's house. Left the house. Time's up. I'll make a part 3, I guess. So this is part 3. If you haven't seen part 2 or 1, this isn't going to make sense to you. So if you're interested, I advise you to look at those videos on my page. So I bolted out of that room, I bolted out of that house, and I still did not feel safe. I took the train to my friend's house, and when I got there, he let me in. He looked really exhausted, and he seen how stressed I was still, and he was just telling me it was going to be okay, you'll feel better in the morning. And then he said I could sleep in one of the kids' rooms. And I was grateful when he went upstairs. So I'm sitting on the couch, and I'm just really anxious. I still do not feel safe. I'm sitting on the couch. I put like some headphones on to like, try to calm down, listen to some music. And the second I put these headphones on, I feel like hands like touching the headphones in little whispers, and I'm just like shaking, like just terrified, like just trying to ignore what is going on. It did not make sense. Like I was out of the house. I was supposed to be safe. Like why is this still happening to me? I eventually get really exhausted and I go up to the room. It was a bunk bed, so I get on the top bunk and I try to go to sleep. My back is facing like the room and my face is facing the wall. And I start hearing sounds around the room. And I'm thinking like, oh, they must have a infestation, like a mouse or a rat or something in the room. I didn't think much of it. I tried to go to sleep. So I'm trying to go to sleep. And I felt something push me. That same push I felt in the house. And the sounds I heard in that room were the footsteps. And once I came to that realization that room was not haunted, I was. Whatever I did trying to get rid of it from that room with the sage and the salt, I guess it really pissed it off and it attached itself to me. So I just took 2 sleeping pills and I just passed out. So I woke up the next morning with this complete and utter existential dread. Like, I thought about ending it all, just downing these sleeping pills, like, just to be done with this. I've never been so stressed in my life. I was in hell, and I had not even died. So, I pick myself up and I go to work. I have to keep on living until, I guess, whatever this thing is decides to kill me. So I accept that this is my life now. Whatever type of existence this is no longer living. I'm just existing. So I talk to my friend and his girlfriend, and I try to make arrangements for me to stay there until I can find another place to stay. And I'm completely truthful with them both as to why I need to leave my apartment. And they agree as long as I pay them, I don't know, $200 or $300 a month or a week. I forget the situation. It didn't matter. And I eventually contact the landlord and the landlady, and I was saying, like, hey, I won't have the rent this month. And they're like, okay, we can just use the deposit for next month's rent. And I thank them, and I'm like, yeah, I can't stay there. I don't know what to do. It's haunted or something. I just can't stay there. I can't be there. And he gets back to me a couple hours later. I guess they have a conversation about it. And they were like, okay, we're not going to take any legal action since we believe you're stressed out in some way, although we don't believe it's paranormal. We'll let you break the lease. And they did. So at this point, I'm telling anybody and everybody that will listen to my story. And I eventually tell my younger cousin that's a college student that's living in North Philly with like 2 other roommates. And he was like, hey, yeah, you can just move in with me and my roommates. We have a guy moving out and we do need a third. And I'm like, okay, this is a light at the end of the tunnel. This is a place that I have never been before. So in my mind, logically, I believe that it won't be able to follow me to this house since I have never been in this house. So this video is getting really long again, so I'm just trying to speed things up. I eventually move out of that house. My cousin and his roommates help me move out of that house because I tell them exactly why I'm moving. I tell everybody. I mean, like, anybody that can help me with this, please help me. So they help me move into the other house. I settle in, and again, it follows me. It's there. It's pushing me every night. The mental anguish is just unbearable. So I start drinking heavily just so I can just pass out and go to sleep without this entity bothering me, or me at least feeling it bothering me. And I notice if I fall asleep with my hand on my body in some type of way, my hand will move or scratch myself, and I'm not controlling that. Like, this thing is trying to possess me. It is draining me. I would wake up some mornings with scratches on my back and my chest, and I know I did not scratch myself unless it was controlling me. And to this day, it still haunts me. It has gone with me wherever I have gone. I've been to Arizona, I've been to Kansas, I've been in every part of Maryland where I am now, and still it haunts me. I hear it just about every night, either pushing the TV or plucking a guitar string that's in my house, or hitting a wall, like just trying to drain me still. But I know that I'm protected because it's been nearly 10 years, and I know it wanted to kill me, but whatever is protecting me is stronger than it. That's how I know that I'm special, that I'm supposed to do something here, because this thing could have killed me, should have killed me a long time ago. But I believe there's a light at the end of the tunnel, still. I looked at a YouTube video about I guess a spiritual worker, like how she helps people like me that have possessions. And it's like $2,000 to have a session with her. I don't have that money, of course. If I ever get that money, I will definitely try to get this attachment removed. But there's something else. I believe I know what happened as to why all of this happened. For the longest time, I believed it was because I used the sage and the salt to try to rid it from that room. But no, that wasn't it. Making this story has made me reevaluate the events that happened in the way that they did. And not a time again. I really thought this would be the last video. So the saga still continues. The last one will definitely be the 4th video. Please stay tuned. So this is the 4th installment. I know I said I was going to upload this like 2 days ago, but I had a death in the family and I had to go back home, which is out of state. So I'm uploading it now. Whoever's watching this for the first time, it's not going to make sense to you if you don't watch the other videos. So if you care to, get caught up, just go on my page and find the other videos. It's 3 more. But anyway, as I was saying in the other video, when I was telling the story, I said I believe I know why this has happened to me. Me retelling the story, reliving the events, made me reevaluate how things unfolded and what happened. So a brief recap. I was saying that I had a roommate. That wasn't entirely true. I had 3 roommates. When I first moved in, there was 2 that were living in the same room. They had like a bunk bed, but they were like friends or something. And one was like, "Want to go back to our home country," and the other one, which was the main roommate that was on a lease, was gonna end her lease and then go back home. They were pretty cool for the most part. I was closer to one than the other, but it didn't really matter. They weren't gonna stay. But there was another roommate that had signed a new lease after those 2 left, and that roommate, she was odd, a white redhead woman. She came from like Blitville, Pennsylvania. I don't know if she had much experience with people that looked like me. And I tried to be the change I was just seeing in the world, so like I tried to befriend her. Make her see that I don't know, black people aren't so bad. But she was very reserved, and we didn't really have many interactions other than I had accidentally like burned something, like some bread or something that she had cooked, because she put it in the oven and left it on and didn't tell me something was in the oven. So I turned it on. No, it was turned off, and then I turned it on so I can make some food. But then I didn't check to see if anything was in there, and I burned it, whatever she was cooking. And she didn't make a big deal out of it, but I apologized and offered to give her money, but she wasn't having it. So long story short, I believe she was like a witch, like a pagan witch. And after that event, how minor that was to me, and I guess the rest of the world, they don't have the power to curse someone with a demon. I believe she put this on me because the way things had turned out, like that night I bolted out of there. I came back 2 days later in the morning, and she basically took over the place. She had like her karate suit in the bathroom. She had like stuff in the kitchen. We were very neat and clean, the other roommates, and also when she first moved in, we had like rules, like yeah, we didn't leave our stuff around. But the way she became comfortable, like just 2 days after I left that night, it was like, why are you just leaving your stuff around? But I mean, like, I wasn't staying there at the time, so that never like sat well with me. It's like, you're moving in before I even said I was even moving out. It was like she knew what she did, and I was going to leave because of it. And I never saw her after the event. Like, she made herself very scarce. Like, even when I tried to move out, she was never there. Her door was always closed. Like, she made a point to not be around. I guess she didn't want me talking to her about what I believe happened. So, I mean, like, when I first came to this revelation that, yeah, it was her, I was angry, I was enraged even, but, it was almost a decade ago. What could I do? Like, seek her out and try to make her lift the curse or whatever? Like, I don't think she would. Like, a person that has power like that is not in not in the business of lifting any damage they do to people. I just feel really bad for all the other people she could have hurt, because, I mean, I'm pretty sure I wasn't the first. And I hope she gets what's coming to her, whatever that may be. But I also like tried to do things over the years. I did start going to church to try to lift it, and I also seemed like a voodoo person or something. But I think they were just scammers because they wanted to like sacrifice a goat and wanted me to pay $5,000 and get all this other stuff. And after a while, they stopped answering the phone. So I don't know. I felt like they were a scam. And after a while, I just started living with it, and just was like, hey, I guess this is my life now. And I scarcely can remember what life was like before this. But I recently spoke to a medium because some of you guys were suggesting I go to a priest or a medium. So I think I'm gonna go to the medium route. I had a reading earlier today, and he was saying that yeah, that happened, and that he can help me remove that. And also, he was saying that there was another curse, like a curse from when I was born, like maybe a generational curse or bloodline curse or something like that. Something I had no idea about, but I'm ready to lift any and all negativity, But I do feel like in my earlier years before any of this has happened, that I always ran into roadblocks every time like I tried to get ahead in any and every way. Like I felt like something was always in the way because I tried to do a lot of different things in my life and I always fell short through some unseen force or means. Like something always went wrong, and it was too coincidental. But yeah, I'm looking forward to just getting everything taken care of. He said it was going to be like $300 to start the process of removing the curses or whatever. So I'll get the money up for that when I can. And I guess if anyone cares, I'll give them an update to see if it works. All right, I guess I'll leave this here now. Yeah.
Yo, that was a lot, friend. I am sorry you had to go through that. When you was telling the story, I was just like, why didn't she tell her neighbor? Like her roommate? I would have like that was my first thought. Go to your roommate, tell her like, hey, are you feeling this? Are you having this experience? Like, is this happening to you? Like, that's why I was just like, that's interesting. That wasn't your first thought, but if you don't really know your roommate, I guess I don't know. I don't know. I love me some redheads, but lately I have not been hearing good things about redheads. And I'm a little sad about it. Friend, you need to go get a cleanse. Like, girl, that first night, ain't no way we going back in that house. Ain't no way. We going straight to the church. We are sleeping in the church. I don't know if y'all churches are like that, but here in the South, the church doors are always open. Always. Except, that one time when people was just robbing the church and they were just like, what are you doing? Here in the South, honey, girl, girl, here in the South, I don't know if you heard about the South, but a lot of people, it seems like, has ghost stories about the South. So we a few people growing up in the South, especially growing up in the church. You have witnessed a lot of things, some things that you cannot explain, and you have witnessed it, and you just surround your people. You have a few people, how you have connections to how to cleanse yourself, your body, your mind, your house. Like, before we move into places, you best believe the house is getting prayed over, anointed. Like, God is all up in this house. All up in this house. Over our bodies, our possessions, everything. Friend, I need for you to go to a primitive Baptist church, honey. Go to a primitive, y'all. If you from the South, you know what I'm talking about. A primitive Baptist church. You need to go and talk to somebody. There's some people who will do it for free. There's a lot of people who is not going to charge you. They'll just do it because, that's their mission, that's their goal, that's their job, that's their spiritual journey to help other people. Friend, I hope you get the help you need and cleanse that. Y'all be careful out there, because God got us. God got you, friend. Because, honey, ain't no way I would have stayed up in that house. Because if the landlord said, oh, we've never had this experience before, no one's ever told you that. At first I was like, are they lying to, keep the money flowing? But then after she was like, well, they didn't go to the court about the money, like breaking the lease. It was just like, okay, maybe they telling truth. Maybe. Because that, girl, that was a lot. I felt it was real when she started crying. I was just like, oh no. And the fact she was like, oh, she's still going through it. It was like, oh no, friend. Oh no, friend. You done moved out the house. Oh no, friend. I'm not trying anything by myself, honey. We going to some people who know what they doing. We going to people who know what they doing and let them figure it out. But she, me, her is not going back in the house. Sorry, not sorry. Subscribe.